Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good? Welcome back to another episode of Live Wire Sports Media. All right, so let's talk about Sydney Colson, all right, who's playing right now in Athletes Unlimited. She was a free agent picked up for the Indiana Fever a few days ago. Now, a lot of people was kind of upset about it, was talking about why we picked her up, why we didn't keep Grace Berger, but we already know the dynamics of that because Grace Berger was not in the plans. And I'm gonna explain this a little bit deeper for y'all because when you building a championship team, there is no room for any second guessing about who should be on this team, who fits this team. If you're building a team, doing a rebuild for a team, then it's a different dynamic to that. It's a different expectation to that, as we all know. Grace Berger, Victoria Saxon was never part of the equation for this team. That was old history. Now, Grace Berger did win to get picked up by the Minnesota Lynx. I wish her well on that. I will touch on that a little bit on another video. But to bring in Sid Colson, who has tons of experience. Some people look at her statistical stat line and say, oh, well, she don't put up points, she don't do this, she don't do that. And they say, well, she's more of a locker room impact than she is on the floor. I'm going to debunk that and I'm going to rebuke it. Because the fact of the matter is, even though we had Erica Wheeler, and I love Erica Wheeler. I love Easy. You know what I'm saying? I love Erica Wheeler because she was that spark plug for the Indiana Fever. She was that hype man. Like if you was a rapper and you needed somebody to be a hype man, that's Erica Wheeler. But Erica Wheeler did not help impact games either. When she came in, she might make a little assist, she might score a little points here and there, but she did nothing down the stretch if you looked at it in playoff time. So some people say, well, we could have just kept Erica Wheeler, but at what cost? Erica Wheeler was making $300 something plus $1,000 on the books. We was never going to keep her. Her contract ran out this year. So she was a free agent. That's one thing people have to understand. Everybody keeps asking, well, what about Erica Wheeler? Is Erica Wheeler still on the books? No, she's not on the books. She's not part of the team. She's a free agent. So she's free to go anywhere. Now, if the Fever find a capacity for her, that's fine. I would love to see her be a part of the franchise. I love the girl. But making financial decisions is a whole different thing. And this is where it came down to Grace Berger again, because Grace Berger was, I believe, a rookie on a rookie deal. She didn't get a lot of minutes because Christy Size neglected to play her any, try to see where she was at. You know, maybe if she had got some playing time early on last year behind Caitlin Clark a little bit more instead of Christy Wallace, you know, then we probably have a different conversation right now. But let's go back. Let's travel back in time a little bit. Remember when Kelly Christcars had said, and I call her Kelly Christcars, so that's my nickname for her. When she first came and she got introduced, and what she said, they want leadership. They want veteran presence. So if they want veteran presence and they want to build veterans around this young talent, who is the young talent on the team? Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hall. You can say Kelsey is a veteran. She's been there for 7 years. So that's the 4 core people that they want to build around. It was never about the others. Yeah, Damaris Dantes is on the roster right now, and I have said this many, many times. There's nobody outside of Lexi, Leah, Kelsey, and Caitlin Clark that is untouchable. I mean, that is not untouchable. Besides them four, everybody else is fair game. Everybody else is fair game. So they wanted somebody to come in to really have the experience and to come in and say, well, hey, this is what I want for my team. So when Caitlin Clark comes out the game, you don't have to worry about somebody coming in the game, messing up the flow, losing leads, turning the ball over. Then all of a sudden, within a minute of in the game, Caitlin Clark got to come back on the floor and navigate the offense. Caitlin Clark could probably go out of game and probably rest for at least 3 to 5 minutes because you have somebody that's a floor general, a person that knows how to run an offense, and that's Sydney Colson. Now, everybody might think she's not a fan favorite, but guess what? She's a part of this franchise now, so I'm going to embrace her as is. Same way we embrace DeWanna Bonner. Same way we embrace Natasha Howard. The same way we embrace Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, because she's part of the Aces culture, and she was friends with Asia Wilson. I'm not going to associate her of be guilty of association. I'm not going to do that. Everybody is different. But you can't deny what Sydney Colson brings to the table. You can't do that because the fact of the matter is that she's done won 2 championships. You know what I'm saying? She done won two WNBA championships. She held the late Aces in 2023 when Gray went out and she helped navigate that. She's great for the locker room. She has a ton of experience, and plus she played with her and Kelsey Mitchell are close. They played in Athletes Unlimited. And speaking of Athletes Unlimited, let me show you a clip where the commentators was talking about that real quick and let you know that hey, this is where she was. If I can dig it up real quick. But nevertheless, shoot. If I can find it. I guess I have to. But anyway, nevertheless, I'll find it in a minute. But there, I do have an article of what Kelly said, and just to clear another thing up. Caitlin Clark was part of this decision as well. That's something that we have to look at because I'm gonna explain something to you. Caitlin Clark is a high IQ person. For her to advocate for Sydney Colson to come here, it shows a lot. It shows a lot about Caitlin Clark and why she will want Sid Colson here. Veteran leadership, knows how to come in situations, been in championship positions. Sat back and talked about how the Indiana Fever in the whole last year was very young. Now the young and old have a lot of experience to help them navigate, help Caitlin Clark, help Leah Boston, help Kelsey Mitchell, help Lexi Hall all navigate to that next level. Not just making the playoff, but also going all the way to the championship. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Players get traded, players get cut all the time. We can't get fixated on just keeping a player because we feel like we know the team better than Kelly or Amber does. They know what's best for this team. Kelly has been there. She has built a champion with the Fever. She has went down there and did amazing things with the Pacers. Amber Cox been around. She's been through all the stuff. So these people know how to build a roster, because we feel at the end of the day it's not our cup of tea. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. Um, Before I'm gonna get into this article real quick, and then I'll touch back in. So the first part of this article is by um Next Hoops. And they talked Kelly talked about the right moves, to fit the team. And she said that the first vision was for President Kelly Christgau's hopes to add to free agency. She wanted veterans. That's what I explained to y'all earlier. She wanted veterans on this team with this young nucleus. This was not a rebuild for 3 or 5 years, like Lynn Dunn said early in the season last year. Talk about, this is a 3 to 5 year period. Nobody has 3 to 5 years. By the time you wait the 5 years, Caitlin Clark will be about 25. Leo Boston will be about 26. They be in their prime, and then what you gonna do? Spend the next 3 to 4 years trying to build a championship team around them, and then they'd be 30 years old, and time has passed them by. The time is now, and they seen the vision. They have to capitalize on Leo Boston. They have to capitalize on Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? They have to capitalize on them because they're young. Because if you build a championship team now, and go all the way to the championship in the next 2 or 3 years, say you win 3 titles. That means Caitlin Clark just turned 23. She'd be 26 years old. She still have 5 more years to go to win more titles on top of that. That's what the vision is. It's executing the now for later. Not for later not later for now. You know what I'm saying? You can't go to the future and then come back. You got to go from the present to the future. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, I just think that what Kelly is doing is very, very smart. Now, she said she wanted veterans. They're hoping to get players who have familiarity with what it takes to win. And she said Sydney Colson certainly brings experience. She played with 4 different franchises across a 10-year WNBA career. She said she is very, very excited for the new opportunity with Indiana and knows several players and coaches from the Fever. That's good. She has familiarity with these players, with the coaches or the team. So that brings a whole lot there. And she said, and she said, and I trust what I know about them. So that right there is really key. She knows the coaches and players of the Fever, and she also trusts what she knows about them. If she didn't trust that, then guess what? It wouldn't have made sense, would it? It wouldn't make sense at all. So, and then you look at it, she says, Colson also added, she said, in a team issue statement, added that Colson won the 2011 National Championship when she played at Texas Tech in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Wow. She's 35 years old, spent the last 3 seasons with the Aces. She played in 77 regular season games and 17 playoff outings. In that stretch, Colson only averaged 0.9 assists in that game in limited minutes. Colson was a key off-court piece for the Aces. The off-court brand is significant, and it will grow on the Popular Fever team. It's terrific. It's terrific fit for the team and player personality. Sydney is a proven veteran in our league, and throughout her career, delivered for her team in many big moments. She brings championship pedigree to the Fever, adding depth at the point guard position. We have the utmost confidence in her ability to step into any situation and deliver on both ends of the floor. FIBA COO and General Manager Amber Carr said in a statement. That's the first part of the article. And that's why I'm stressing so, not stressing like stressing, but I'm stressing the situation because the fact of the matter is that Amber and Kelly knows what they want for this team. They want somebody, like I said before, if you going to sub out Caitlin Clark, you have to have somebody there with high IQ that knows how to continue to run the offense. We've seen too many times last year that the Indiana Fever has lost leads when Caitlin went out on the floor, went off of the floor. Then it was hard to get the lead back, or they couldn't. They was up a hill battle because Chrissy Sides didn't know how to sub. She didn't know when to call a timeout. She didn't know how to put the right personnel in, and all of that. And at the end of the day, that's what it came down to be. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about it in this sense that experience of having an experienced team with younger team, because guess what? By that time, Caitlin Clark don't win two WNBA championships. They gonna be the experienced ones. Then they gonna be able to say, hey, we want this person here. We want this person here. Then they'll be the veterans. They don't have to worry about leaning on other veterans because the fact of the matter is that they already had that pedigree built in them. Right now, they don't have that. Yeah, Leah Boston. Yeah, Caitlin Clark are phenomenal rookies, but at the end of the day, guess what? You still need veterans to help navigate you along. That's the same thing what happened with Michael Jordan with the Bulls. That's the same thing happened with Kobe Bryant with the Lakers. That's the same thing happened with Tom Brady when he won his championship with the New England Patriots. You have to have a mix of veterans to help navigate some of this on, because they can see things that these young rookies or these second-year players may not. As great as Caitlin Clark, high IQ she is, but it's still things that she's trying to learn and figure out at the same time at the level of the W. So why not have a Natasha Howard? Why not have a Sydney Colson? Why not have a Sophie Cunningham? Why not have a DeWanna Bonner in that mix to help navigate that through? There's so much you could take from this for this team and understand that, hey, this is what this team needs right now. They need that leadership. They need that navigation piece. You know what I'm saying? Kelly, Amber, and Stephanie White. So while the architects are putting the pieces together, they're also the architects with the game plan, the structure. And guess what? When Kelly was giving her press conference, she said the players told her to protect the locker room. Soon as we signed Sydney Colson, there was a firestorm went off and said, oh, well, I thought she wanted to protect the locker room. This is not protecting the locker room. You're passing judgment before everything being justified. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said before, it may not be the greatest signing, but they have been hitting the nail on the head all free agency long. So we accepted DeWanna Bonner, and her wife is Alyssa Thomas, and we already know what Alyssa Thomas was about, but we accept DeWanna Bonner. So why not accept Sydney Colson in the same light? People do make mistakes. People do say something. Now, I do want to issue, before I read this next part of this article, I do want to illustrate something. When Kelly Doom said veteran leadership, all sense of purposes, I don't see Kennedy Carter ever be on this team. Because if Caitlin Clark has any decision on that or anything, and I'm sure they ran all these other free agencies by Caitlin Clark. There's a clip of DeWanna Bonner and Caitlin Clark at the All-Star game, standing on the stage, DeWanna playing with her, and Caitlin laughing. We saw them interact with each other at the All-Star game. Yeah, the playoff basketball was just playoff basketball. They, is what it is. But there was no hard feelings for DeWanna Bonner because she didn't ever say anything negative about Caitlin Clark. It's just something on the court that just, hey, doing too competitive. We see it all the time. So And then you got to understand this at the same point in time is that Caitlin Clark is the face of the league. She is the face of the franchise. And it's important that Kelly, Amber, and all of them consulted with Caitlin and say, hey, how do you feel about this player? How you feel about that player? This and that, or whatever the case may be. And for her to advocate to have Sydney Colson on this team, we should have no issues with that at all, because Caitlin Clark is smart enough. She knows basketball. She has a very high IQ, and she knows what very high IQ players is. Kelsey Mitchell illustrate that last year, talked about how high IQ Caitlin Clark is, and you have to be on that same level with her. So you would think that Kelly Doon would not bring people in that had that same level of high IQ quality that Caitlin Clark brings, Aaliyah Boston brings? Come on. So let me tackle this other part of this video. This article before I wrap up. So for Sydney Colson's career, she was averaging 2.8, 1.6 per game. Her most successful season came with the San Antonio Stars, who is now the Las Vegas Aces, in the mid-2010s. And this is the important part now I'm about to illustrate to y'all. The Indiana Fever really wanted Colston. Caitlin Clark specifically hoped Colston could join the squad. The team has a plan for Colston on the hardwood and believes that she will fit well as the backup point guard to Caitlin Clark. Finding the right role was very important for Colston in free agency, and she should have more uses in Indiana than she did in Los Angeles. And that's why she's going to play a lot. She's going to get some playing time on the court. She's going to be able to demonstrate certain things. That is what she wants, a permanent role. Now, the Fever did sign her to $90K. Hey, some people say it's not worth it, whatever the case may be. But it's some other stuff that's going on. I have to touch on later tonight in these videos, because I got a lot of work to catch up on. So, and like I said, she said that, finding the right role was very important for her in free agency, and she should see a lot of more usage in Indiana than she did in Las Vegas. And Amber Carson and her started talking from the beginning. We started talking about people first. Kelly said that the Fever and free agency indicate that personality fit was important. Bam, there we go. There we go. The key word in this was indicating that personality fit was important. Personality and fit was important. Personality and fit was important to this team. This is what the team illustrated. So therefore, there was no Kennedy Carter coming to this team. I don't believe that Kennedy Carter's personality was never going to fit this team. You wanted personality and fit. You wanted high IQ players. So therefore, this is why they went after her. Colson fits that vision. I think initially it did start with every one of these players we adding that has a high level of character integrity. So you're going to tell me, I don't care how talented that Kennedy Carter is, she doesn't have high character integrity. Matter of fact, she doesn't even have the personality that fits the team. This team was looking for specific details of certain players, what that their current players that already had. You wasn't gonna never bring in a DJ Carrington. You wasn't never gonna bring in Alyssa Thomas. You wasn't never gonna bring in Brittany Griner. You might would have brought in a Tina Charles. This is what I'm talking about. See, you can have all the basketball skills in the world and be a great player, but at the end of the day, if your character and integrity doesn't line up, we don't want you. I've seen it too many times in the NFL where Roger Goodell talks about integrity. Hell, Adam Silver talks about it as a lot. This is what's important to the Indiana Fever right now. This is what they want in their locker room. They don't want somebody that's going to be negative, always tweeting all the time, thinking they above the team because they could score 40 points or they think they should be a starter. They don't need that. They don't need that. And I'm glad that this is really important illustrating in this article. And Amber went on to say, I'm just a real pertinent of what shots don't fall. What do you fall back on? Your culture, she added. Wow. They building a significant kind of culture there. And if you don't fit that, as many times we had listened to when Tom Brady played for New England Patriots, what the first thing they say, the Patriots way, the Patriots way. When you play for the New England Patriots, you had to play you had to know your job, do your job. You have to know what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Indiana. If you come to play with if you playing for the Indiana Fever, guess what? You're gonna have integrity, high IQ, great character, and help build a culture. I am not mad at all that Caitlin, Kelsey, Leah, and Lexi Hall wanted that for the locker room. They don't want nobody coming in there disrupting the locker room. Hell, to be honest with you, that could have been one reason why they didn't want to go after Salter Sabali. To be honest with you, shout out to Adrian Ross. She illustrated this in her one of her videos, talked about how Salter was her main priority was facilities. She didn't say nothing about winning championships. Came into the team to be a great culture, being around a team. She worried about facilities. She didn't worry about trying to win a championship. Because if there was, it would have came down to New York and Indiana. But she went to Phoenix because Phoenix got a great facility. Well, guess what? Phoenix ain't gonna win no title. So my thing is this here is that how long you sign with Phoenix? Because if Indiana goes on to win the title, you best believe Satu Sabali gonna try to navigate her way to us. We don't need her. We don't need her. This is why I feel like players in the NBA and in the W, they don't have priority reasons. You got older players in this league, like a Sydney, like a DeWanda, like a Natasha Howard. All of them wants to win and bring something to the table to help win a championship. You don't hear hardly none of these people talk about winning a championship. The main thing that come out their mouth is facilities. How can I have a better relaxing time? How can I just chill? You don't hear people say, well, if I got traded, I want to continue to work on my game. I want to continue to grow. I want to be able to help this team be in a position to win a title or whatever the case may be. That's just where it's at. So all the Fever moves that they have made so far, I get them an A+ on it. I get them an A+. Like I said before, sometimes some people fits the team, some people don't. If you look at the roster now, guess what? There's very little remnants of what last season roster is. Timmy Fambelli gone. Victoria Saxon gone. Grace Berger gone. Celeste Taylor gone. The only ones left, Dantas, Wallace, Samuelson. Three left. And I told you before, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if these next three are not on the team by the time the season starts or before the season starts. So, bad contracts, bad contracts, bad contracts. Kudos to Amber, Kelly, and Stephanie White for bringing this team, the vision for this team, the right way. It was about damn time. Like, comment, subscribe. Until the next episode, Live Wire Sports, I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.